So let's start by reviewing the major parts of the nose. First, we have the bridge, which is the highest point of your nose, that front-facing plane. Then we have the ball of the nose down below. So if you touch your own nose, it's that bulbous ball, literally. Bridge, ball. Then on either side, we have the nostrils. And then we have the two side planes that are coming down from the bridge. Here are the actual nostril openings. Everyone's nose looks so different. All of these parts will be in any type of nose, but the way that they look or the placement might be a little bit different. Here are 3 examples of different types of noses. They all follow the same basic format. So we have the bridge, the 2 side planes, the ball of the nose, the under part of the nose where the nostril openings would be, and the nostrils on the side. This is the basic structure. This is what you want to start off with when you start mapping out or drawing a nose. Now, depending on the way a nose looks, if you can see a lot of the underside of the nose, then this plane is higher, which means that this bottom side is bigger. This means that I can see quite a bit of a person's nostrils down below. For this one, I might be able to see a little bit of their nostrils, but overall the ball of the nose is just pointing forward, not so much turned up. So here, the nostrils may look something like this. And in here, this is more of a hooked nose, where the nose is facing down, and so we don't actually see the opening of the nostrils. Here, notice that the ball of the nose is placed lower than the nostrils. Here, the nostrils are in line with the ball, and here, the ball is higher than the nostrils. This is how these noses look from the side. Here we have a turned up nose. Here we have a nose that's a little bit more triangular and less of the bottom is being shown. And here we have one that is facing downward or more hooked where we don't see the nostrils. Let's say I wanted to draw this nose. How would I go about starting to draw it? So first I'm going to want to identify those actual parts. I'm going to want to find the bridge, that front plane. I'm going to want to identify the side planes that are coming down from the bridge and hitting the nostril. I want to identify the ball of the nose. And then I want to identify the under part of the nose. Where is the point where the nose starts to face down? And that is where the nostrils are. Something kind of like this. This is the shape I want to draw onto my paper first, really lightly. So I'm going to go like this. Notice that I'm using the side of my pencil and I'm not drawing like this. Down. Down. Marking in the bottom. And from here I can start to refine the shape. So I'm going to get in this V here that is marking my nostrils that are at the base of the ball of the nose. Then I'm going to lightly mark in what I think is the nostril shape. Mark the outer boundaries of the nostril. outer boundary of the other nostril. Notice that I'm still drawing really lightly this whole time. The lighter I draw, the better. I want to refine and define the ball of the nose, coming up and around, and then add this line. Now I want to start shading. So I like to start by lightening up any lines that I don't need with my eraser. So taking my eraser, I'm going to take out any of the lines that I don't need, like this ball of the nose, erasing, 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 and now I'm ready to start shading. So I'll start by looking for what's the darkest area of my nose. And aside from the nostrils, I want to indicate that this part is turning away from the light. So using the side of my pencil, I'm just going to shade the entire lower portion of my nose. Then I want to notice that the light is hitting the bridge, which means that there must not be as much light hitting either side. So I'm going to shade to either side really lightly of the bridge of my nose. And I will do the same on the other side. I'm also going to shade around the nostrils. Shade around this nostril. And I can see that I have two highlights here, and I also have light hitting the edge of my nostril. So I want to make sure that I include a ridge of light here, a ridge of light here, and two highlights on my nose, which means that around the rest of the nose there will be a little bit of shading. Go ahead and darken this. And now I'll go ahead and darken my nostrils once I feel good about the shape that I've created. Noticing that the nostrils are not just black holes, that they start off dark and then they sort of fade out. And same on the other side. Something else to notice about nostrils is that they're typically not symmetrical. So don't just draw two black dots and think that that's it. Usually the shapes are more nuanced and a bit different. I'm also going to notice that there is some darkness right here, so I'm going to add that as well. Going back in, darkening my darks. So let's quickly review. When you start drawing the nose, make sure that you're looking for the bridge, the side planes, the ball, and the nostrils. Be sure to notice if the nostrils are lower, higher, or in line with the ball of the nose. Once you've done that, mark out your general shapes using geometric shapes. And then start looking at the light. So if the light is hitting the top of the nose, that means that the bridge and the top of the ball are going to be in light, and anything that is turning away from the light on the side planes or the bottom of the nose is going to be in shadow. Here's a side view. If the light is hitting from the top, that means that the bottom of the nose and the side planes will be in shadow. So once you've marked your geometric shapes, mapping out your nose, identifying the light, then you can more specifically start shading those more specific shapes that you see on your nose.